Hello and welcome to our January Challenge 2025, and today is day 6. It's the 8th of January, but our day 6 on this challenge, we're doing Wendy Stewart's Fish Face piece. So we are on the last part of active learning. I say that as in new notes. Beyond this, it's all about putting it together. So I will play part of this for you first. I think I'm going to play how it sounds and then we will look into it. Okay, so I'm going to start on bar 22, which we actually did get to yesterday, as it's the same as bar 18, apart from how we've landed on it might be different. So I'm just going to play for you. Okay, so that's what's going on. Okay, so if you are on the version labelled up as easiest, you've got a really nice part because we've got our, remember that triad, remember about opening up, thumb onto the black and just letting the fingers fall open, and it would go B, B, D, F, and just being late with that F because it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, then you've got a count of 4, and then we've just got an F on its own. An octave but shared between the hands. We've got F, 2, 3, 4, and notice as I let that play I was getting my hands ready to come back to here, because on the repeat we would then be on. Okay, so that's in that easiest version. Then in the version labelled easier, we've got that same call. Remember, this is a call and response. We have the, so it's a finger 4 because of where we've come from. We've just played 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to answer it like we did in bar 19. B, B, A, F. Now you might notice there the fingering is marked up with the thumb and the A and the F, whereas in bar 19 it was still labelled up with finger 3. The difference here is about where we're about to go. So before we had 3, 3, 2, 3, let's move up. This time, 1, 1, 2, 3, because the next note is the same one but with a finger 4 and an octave. We're going to go F, F, and then we're going to do 4 notes from the E down to the B. Thumb onto the red and 3 in a row, nice and even. You may recognise those 2 bars. They are the same as how our first half of this piece ended. So they are the same as bars 15 and 16. So we have the F octave and then 4 in a row. Thumb going onto the red and opening up with 1, 2, 3. Okay, so actually all quite familiar stuff. Underneath, much like we did previously, we've got the 3, 3, 2, 1. This is bar 22. The right hand's going to do its answering. And then I like having an open hand. So walking up from the F to the A. That's all it is, and then back for this. Okay, so that's that part. In the full version, we came to the B with a finger 4 because just prior we had, yeah, and we practiced this yesterday because the bar was there, so we made use of it. So da, 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 4, and then we're doing the full chord again, so we're opening up, thumb onto the B. Now it's really important, if you're glued to your harp, you're going to end up doing something like this to get to your chord, and you're going to have an almost straight third finger. It's going to be really tricky. But if you're nicely out, how easy to come from that 4 and almost use it to propel my hand down. Okay, so I achieve that by not being heavily rested on my harp, and then travelling. So I finished with finger 3, I'm taking my hand over that finger 4. So all of a sudden, to open up, I'm there. And I can just then open up my hand, and I've got a nice curve in that finger. My other ones can be in, which is going to encourage me to play like that. Okay? It's something that is so easy to end up going, and then just kind of reach, and we catch other strings. Okay, so allow yourself to be out. All right, so we've got the 4, chung, back up, back down, chord, just like we did in bar 19. And then, just like in the other part, we're effectively going to be playing like we did in bars 15 and 16. Subtle difference, we've got a 4, and I'm only going to place the octave again. 4 on the F, thumb on the F. And then I'm going to let finger 3 come in on the A. You could have that placed as 4, 3, 1. I don't think you would do it. I know I wouldn't, because then it's much more awkward to play that finger 4. I'm going to give my arm a shake actually trying to do that. But an octave, 4, and then let my 3rd come in, and I can do that. And just make sure I'm really together. That's better. The first time I did that, it went a little bit ba-dum. So really going, yes, nice and neat. Then I've got 4 in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, E down to the B with our lovely bouncy rhythm. Thumb onto the C, 1, 2, 3 on, thumb on the B, and onto the A and F. So it's the same as the second time bar at the end of line 3. Okay, because it's going to lead us back to. Okay, much as we've practiced, we've done a lot of that second time bar going into bar 18. It's that same thing. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, chung. Okay, the left hand is doing the same thing that it's already done as well. So we had the B, then we've got the octave, 1, damp, 3, damp. Yeah, so beat 1, damp on beat 2, play on beat 3, damp on beat 4. And then we're coming down to the F, F. So it's 1 and 2. So beat 2 is a damp. 1 and damp. Try it with me. 3, 4. 1 and damp. Okay, and then as we do that damp, we're also moving up 1 string to the G, G and damp. A, but not damping this time, letting it ring until beat 4, and then ba-dum, which is bar 18 again, as we've repeated back. Okay, so we just do that left hand. This is from bar 22. Okay, the end of line 4. Okay, I'll count you in, just the left hand. Try and just do a little roll of that shoulder so that we can kind of use the joint well there. Mine creaks a little, but use that joint well so that we're not doing too much pulling forward or upwards as we just allow our elbow almost to take us further away. Okay, here we go. B's, lots of time, just the left from bar 22. Count you in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and let it ring, 3, damp back to B, 2, and so on. Okay, so that's the left hand underneath. I've said in years gone by not to spend too much time doing the hands as separate entities, because then you sort of build one pathway for your right hand information and you build another pathway for your left hand information. But then when we put our hands together, it's not really a combination necessarily of both those pathways, but a third pathway that we need. So get to that as soon as you can so that you're focusing on building that pathway up in your brain. So let's come in on bar 22 for the moment. Okay, going to try hands together. You can join in no matter what part you're playing. Okay, nice and steady. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2. Next. And back to bar 18, and so on. Okay, and again, it can be really useful to go, right, let's build that up in sections. So you might go, just do the next bar. And really remember those damps and just work on getting that solid. And then you might work on the next bar. And you might even have to practice that bit, just to really get that damp landing with that top chord. Okay, all of this is really useful, and then you might work on just the next part, remembering that those actually line up. Okay, bum, 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 bum. Okay, and it would be useful if you're doing that part to take it on. Okay, and then build it up again into the section. The second time bar and the next part, I think what we'll do is we'll deal with that tomorrow. Okay, because tomorrow my plan is just to put, it's one of our rest days, but it's our putting together days. And we're just going to put from bar 18 to the end, well, to the repeats and whatnot. We're going to put that together tomorrow. And then in the day after that, we'll work on putting the whole piece together. So you can just really focus in on this section, but don't forget to keep working on the earlier parts too. Okay, join me on the play along, where we will work from bar 22 through, and just getting that into the first time bar and just briefly repeating back to 18 as our starting point. And keep it up. Lots to think about, but getting in that vibe really helps. Okay, well done.